Hello and welcome back. Now tonight we are back in Seb and we are at the King Camp right now, but we've got some other plans lined up for tonight. Now I've shown you how to get down to the Crypt before, but here's another way. This is a 60 Enchanter again, and right now I'm looking through the wall trying to find a skeleton or a frog lock that's in the crypt. So there you go. You can see right there, skeletal champion. So I'm gonna go ahead and put him on my extended target list for later, just so I don't lose him. There we go. And now I am going to go find myself a pet. Now the only special thing about this pet is that it has to summon, which all of these shrooms should summon, so we should be able to pick out any of them here. Alright, now this shroom should do. I'm going to go ahead and add this shroom to my extended target window also in my charm pet slot. We probably won't keep him very long. Well, looks like some bad pathing made him run around the long way. Anyways, so gonna grab him up as a pet and go ahead and send him on this champion that we still have in our extended target window. So there he goes running down, and there he goes. So you can do this with any of the shrooms, but I wouldn't do it with a priest. Not that it matters, because as long as you break charm early enough, the only thing you don't want to do is if you break charm too low, the priest might heal itself as soon as charm breaks, and then it won't summon you. But Reaver or a warrior, as soon as you invis, there you go. He's gonna summon you up there, and then as an enchanter, it should be pretty easy to crowd control. You do have to be careful though, is that frog there wasn't aggroed, and when you pop in, he aggroes on you, so he harm touched me. We're just gonna get this under control, but as you can see, so what I did was I found a skeletal champion up here, got a shroom pet, got close enough to the champion, sent my pet, let my pet get in summon range, and then break charm, have my pet summon me to everything else, crowd control, recharm, and then start working on all these mobs. You can also just Mangler them, really doesn't matter what your goal is to actually get down to the crypt. So we are just going to fast forward a little bit, get through some of this trash, and start getting to some of the fun stuff here. Killing some placeholders, killing some named, trying to kill some other named. The one thing I forgot to touch on about charming is giving the pet weapons. Now giving a pet one weapon, if it will accept it, is always good. I wouldn't recommend giving your pet two weapons. So my understanding is that if you give your pet one weapon, he will dual wield as your pet. But when your pet breaks and he only has one weapon, he won't dual wield as a monster once his charm breaks. So unless you're giving him two weapons because you want them both to proc something amazing, but I try to just give my pets one weapon, and I don't know how much of a difference the damage is. I think it should be the same as giving it two. It should just do less damage to you on charm breaks. So as you can see, I Manglered. I'm getting rid of everything, and I'm gonna set up to charm this cleric, one of these Crypt Guardians, and they are 53, so you have to use Bull Trans. Alright, so I like to stand behind this pillar, of course, because it's a safe spot. You can camp here. Nothing's gonna get you unless people train. So as you see, I'm gonna pacify the furthest one, mez this one, get my theft of thought going. Eventually I'll charm him, and this guy will be key. Without heal potions, you need something like this, but I'm doing this without the heal potions, without buffs, just KEI, just so I don't have to clarity. But if you just have some heal potions, it should make your life much easier. So we're gonna get back our normal spells. Let's see what else. Okay, so I'm just repacifying him so I can run into the room. I like to start off with the Hyro if you can. That way, once you clear everything else, you can come back. Another strategy though is that if you start with another placeholder and end at Hyro, then at least you know for sure that Hyro is about to spawn, because everything else is starting to spawn. So at least you can get a better timer with that. But just make sure you remember the order and keep up with it, and make sure you get to Hyro before it spawns, because on Mangler, as with any of the recent TOPs, you're gonna have people just picking over right here. So you really want to be on top of this spawn, because the Hyro will die very fast when it spawns, and you don't want to lose the main reason people camp here. I mean, you can get good XP here, but there's better places to XP. You're here for XP plus the loot. So as you see, I'm just going to start working around these mobs. I'm finding, I'm looking for Theft of Thought mobs too at the same time. So as you can see, the pet's working stuff down. Still takes some time. He's got haste now, but I think if I had given him a weapon, his damage would increase noticeably. But again, I really wouldn't give charm pets 2 weapons unless you have a really good reason, because like I said, they seem to do more damage. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it's certain types of mobs, but my experience so far has been giving 1 weapon does make it dual wield as a pet, and that's all you're looking for. So the second weapon will just make it hurt more when it breaks. So I'm having some trouble. This pet's really low life, and I'm getting low life, and he's not healing. And I know I've talked about this before, and here you get to see it. I'm trying to make him heal me here. I mean, he should be healing himself. So I'm breaking charm. I'm hoping, nope, he doesn't try to heal himself right away. So I mez him. I Theft of Thought him. He's got mana. You can see if he had no mana and you Theft of Thoughted him, you wouldn't gain any mana. So I'm gonna try claritying him. I don't actually know if that works or how much it works. As you can see, he's still being stingy on his heals. I'm trying to trigger him, but I don't know how to make him heal when he doesn't want to. So I'm just gonna keep going on and hope charm doesn't break here, because he's got haste. I don't really have much mana or life. But if you had heal potions, the wait wouldn't be so long. You pop 1 heal potion, you'd probably be full life, or if not full life, very close to full life, and then you'd have another one ready very quickly. 2 minutes, I think. So I'm looking through the wall, and it actually looks like Emp is up. If my pet doesn't heal me, Emp's going to be impossible. So I'm still trying to get him to heal me, and he's refusing to heal me. So I'm just going to work through all this trash and talk to you about what I'm going to do, because you need to be able to get into the blood in the Emp's room, and then you need to be able to get out. So you can't just clear everything. So once I get these roamers cleared, I'm going to pull one of these two front mobs, and I'm going to leave the other one up, and I'll show you. But right here, this guy, this charm pet, I mean, I was able to get him to heal himself up, but he hasn't healed me yet. I'm still very low life. So we just have another roamer to kill. So I'm going to keep fast forwarding through this. And so what I'm going to do, as I was saying, I'm going to pull one, I'm going to leave the other, and then I'm going to send my pet into the blood, and I'm going to let the blood summon me through the door. Now, if you can't do the way I'm doing it, you'd have to invis and break your charm. I'm going to try to just sit aggro him. Now, the key, though, is that you can't sit right away, so you have to try to sit like right at 97% and hope that sit aggro is enough. Or you can do like we did to get into the crypt and just let your pet get low life, and then, you know, I say low life, but under 97%. Break charm, your pet will summon you through, and then, you know, stun, mez, recharm, and go back on your way. And then you'll see later you'll need that second mob that you leave up, and this is the mob that I'm going to leave up right here. I pulled him to Theft of Thought him anyways, so then I just mezzed him and blurred him off to the side. So I'm going to recharm, and then I'm going to target the Skeletal Duke right here, you're going to see. Get my rune back up real quick. And still had just a few seconds left on that skeleton mess, just enough to get our pet sent in. And as you can see, it doesn't go right away, but there I sit again, and I'm going to run back to the other side of the room. Got to get him over here before that skeleton comes back. We didn't want that other skeleton to aggro through the door. But luckily, he wasn't quite back at his spawn yet. But breaking charm is better there. I just figured I'd see if this would work, and it happened to work there. So we're going to kill this guy. Now usually, I wouldn't recommend wasting your time if you're just an enchanter doing the actual emp, because, you know, even if you can do him, and he's tough, even if you can do him, then you might miss the Hyro timer, and that's, you don't want to lose your Hyro camp and the rest of the crypt. The other problem is that you can only single pull when the emp is up. Otherwise, if it's a placeholder, you'd have to pacify the entire room every time until emp spawned anyways, so that takes up a lot of time. But I really would like to get some more health before I do this. Yeah, break charm. I try to let him beat on me a little bit, trying to get my pet to heal me, but he's just not healing me. But like I said, if you have those heal potions, you can just heal yourself up. It's not that big of a deal when it's not an emergency. You know, this is, I don't know how many minutes go by, 10 minutes or something go by this entire time of me just trying to regen hit points. So I finally just say screw it, and so I'm going to pull by dispelling on the pet. I couldn't remember if you have to cast on the pet or if you can straight just pull the emp, so I was just playing it safe, and well, as you can see, charm broke as soon as I pulled, but I managed to get it under control, and what do you know, my charm pet decided to heal me. So no idea what triggered him, but I appreciate it. So he heals me, and I'm already back down to 50%. So I hit Tash, I let him get some aggro, get a slow on the emp, he nukes me again, and as you can see, my pet's healing again. So I got a little lucky that my pet finally decided to heal me. So now I'm gonna start mana sieving him. Just, you know, get all of his spells out of there. No gate, no dots, no life taps. And after that, he's very easy. It's just the initial, those dots that he throws at you, especially when you're just an enchanter. Those things take a lot of your hit points. And keep sieving. Should be out of mana here. And then we're just gonna finish him off. Get some nuke and speed it up a little bit. And one more. There we go. Oh, well, we got paladin arms. It's not exactly what we want from him. He can drop some good spells. As you may have saw in one of the other videos, I killed him on a 85 SK, and which one did we get? I think we got Torpor, which is pretty great. I know it was a good shaman spell. So there we go with Imp, and we're done with him. We're gonna work our way back to the Crypt. So as you can see, that mob that we left up sent my pet through the door, and then invis, break that charm, get my pet summon me back over, get all this stuff under control. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward through this trash clearing. Get that pet working on it. Now, this stuff usually wouldn't be back up if you didn't kill the imp. If you just go in and pull the blood and come right back, it won't take that long. So right now we just want to race back to the Hyro spawn. And like I said, if you're on Mangler when you're watching this, if you can't get back to Hyro before it repops, then I recommend cutting down on what you're killing. If you're killing imp, maybe maybe don't kill imp. Unless you don't want the Hyro cloak, but most people are here. Hyro cloak is the main thing. So I'm gonna pacify the one cleric mob left up and check out this room right here. And there he is. There's the guy we're looking for. And as you can tell, he has no weapon. And no weapon on Hierophant means that he's got our cloak. So if you were in this situation and on Mangler, you want to be nuking this guy down so fast. Get some dots on him. And just get him dead before somebody else notices. If he has a weapon, then you know he doesn't have a cloak, so it's not a big deal. I mean, it's like Sword of Skyfire and whatever the other weapon is. I feel like it's a ranger weapon, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I know Sword of Skyfire is one of them, but they're both weapons. So our pet again is not healing himself, so we're going to help him out. But this is the mob everybody comes here for, right here. We got pretty lucky. Look at that, only one respawn. So there is the Hierophant's cloak. This thing is so great. Now this thing's going to be selling for a few chrono to start. It's still going to be, it's going to be camped a lot, so the price is going to stay for a bit. Prices are always going to go down. It's going to just take a little longer for that item to drop in price as much as the other items, because it is just a really good cloak. So now on this character, I actually have one of these. So I'm going to show you what to do. Let's say you're camping this and you have a cloak on your one toon or your two toons already. Make sure you're bound outside, first of all, and keep the items there in the loot window. Don't touch them. Doesn't don't assign them to anybody. I mean, you can assign it to yourself, but don't 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 like leave it on the corpse. Just leave it there, and you'll get back to it. As long as you get back to the zone within 15 minutes. So I'm going to head to the bank in Freeport, good old new Freeport. Go to the bank, and there's also a parcel. So you just put it in your shared bank, or you parcel it to one of your other tunes that doesn't have cloak already. And then, once you parcel it or it's in the shared bank, gate back, zone in. Now in Mangler, there's going to be obviously a bunch of picks open, so you're going to have to type /pick. Make sure you go into the right zone, but you can loot it from the zone in, and the reason that you're able to do that because you were there for the kill. So that's all that matters. As long as you were there for the kill, then you can zone back in and loot it from anywhere. And that'll be it for this video. Thanks for tuning in again, and I will see you next time.